business cycle a little bit. I mean, with all the money that's pumped in, $10 trillion in infrastructure spending, you know, to grow our economy under the Obama administration, had our 2% growth. Now we have the president basically saying the same thing, was going to balance the budget. Okay, I don't think so, but I want to understand, where do you think the business cycle is going? I mean, we're supposed to be at the end of it, my interpretation, a lot of people say. And just talk a little bit about that aspect, because that really determines where we're going to put our money at this point.
Yeah, the question, if you didn't hear it, was about the where we are in the business cycle. And some people say we're near the end of it. This has been one of the longest expansions in history. Not the longest, but one of the longest in history. And I would say that to some extent, what has sustained it is that it's been such a slow expansion. So we're just getting down to full employment, and even by some measures, we're not there yet. And the American consumer and the American corporations have moved very cautiously, so there are none of the usual excesses that create a recession. Having said that, it is one of the longest recoveries in history, and I would say that we are closer to the end than the beginning. And if you want, I'll use a baseball analogy, and I'm going to rely on baseball because it has a certain quirk. I'd say we're in about the 7th inning of a 9-inning game. But innings don't presume that the clock is the same for every inning. You don't say, all right, well, it's been 7 years, so we're at the 7th inning, so we have 2 more years of growth. If it grows slowly, it could be longer than that. If it grows rapidly, the end could come sooner. And obviously the markets will reflect that, actually signal it. But there is, right now in the US economy, I'm saying the 7th inning because it's so long-lived, this recovery. But right now in the US economy, I see nothing that is pre-recessionary. Householders do not have excessive amounts of debt relative to income or wealth. I know there was an item in the news this morning. Households have more debt than ever. Yes, they also have more income and more wealth than ever. So that's really the name of the game. There is no excess there. Yes, certain households, there's always an excess, but no excess there. Corporations, last time I looked, which was for the final quarter of last year, corporations have enormous amounts of cash, which means they are not strapped in any way or burdened with debt. The non-financial corporations in the United States had checking account deposits. Checking accounts, not even money market accounts, not even CDs. Checking account deposits equal to 10% of their liabilities. That's an enormous number. I mean, ask yourself, does your checking account amount to 10% of your liabilities? I know, maybe you're better heeled than I am. Mine certainly doesn't, but of course I'm twice divorced. So that means my finances are special.